You probably felt it. The moment the Cape Crusade stopped feeling like a crusade, it started feeling like homework. Packed theater shots, superhero posters, and reboots. But here's the twist. The replacement isn't just more anime or more games. It's an entirely different entertainment operating system. And Sony's building it like a closed-loop ecosystem. Today I'm going to be breaking down 4 big shifts. Number 1, why traditional live-action superhero dominance collapsed. Number 2, why 2026 audiences prioritize deep, serialized lore over predictable world-saving formulas. And number 3, how Sony connects PlayStation and Crunchyroll into a growth funnel and a story machine. Number 4, why interactive cross-media worlds are making the one-off theatrical film feel outdated. So let's get into it. Let's say the quiet part out loud. Superhero movies didn't die because people hate superheroes. They stalled because the format was saturated. When a genre becomes the default blockbuster template, it starts repeating its own shortcuts. Same 3-act rhythm, same escalating CGI threat, same save the world switch flipped at minute 90, and the same post-credit obligation. And saturation has a brutal math problem. If you release event films constantly, none of them feel like events. Theatrical audiences became more selective post-streaming boom. Fewer trips, higher expectations. If the movie feels like a chapter you have to watch, not a story you want to watch, people are gonna opt out. Meanwhile, the audience didn't stop wanting worlds. They just started demanding a different kind. Here's the 2026 mindset shift. Viewers want mythology, not just plot. People want the feeling that the world existed before the camera arrived, and keeps going when the credits roll. The old model. A villain appears, stakes go global, heroes stop it. Now that we have the new model, a world reveals itself slowly, through lore, through side characters, micro-conflicts, and long-term arcs. And that kind of depth is easier to sustain in serialized formats, especially animation and games than in expensive live-action films that need to reset for mass appeal every time. So where does Sony come in? Sony has something many studios don't. A direct consumer platform at massive scale, plus content pipelines, and hardware, and distribution. Instead of fighting the cape fatigue with more capes, the smarter play is to pivot toward what the old Hollywood system struggles to do. Persistent worlds with always-on engagement. Now, PlayStation isn't just a console. It's a storefront, a social graph, a media hub, and a recommendation engine. If you can surface Crunchyroll inside an ecosystem with tens of millions of active users, you don't market the same way traditional studios market. You root people. This is the new advantage. Not just owning content, but owning the path to the consumer, or the customer. Now let's talk about what I call cross-media immersion. Imagine this loop. You watch an anime episode. The episode unlocks a narrative mission or lore artifact in a game. The game's outcome unlocks an extra scene, an alternate perspective, or a character-focused side episode. Even if the exact implementation varies, the strategy is clear. Turn viewing into participation. Turn fandom into progression. And traditional studios bleed value through middle layers. Distribution, platform fees, marketing buys, fragmented rights. But if one company increasingly controls production, which are the studios and the partnerships, and the distribution, which is the streaming, and the platform, which is the console and the storefront, and the engagement layer, which are the accounts, the entitlements, and the data, they don't just sell a movie, they sell a membership in a world. For Gen Z and Gen Alpha, canon doesn't come from the decades of comic issues anymore. It comes from in-game item descriptions, environmental storytelling, community theories, wiki rabbit holes, long-form YouTube breakdowns, and shared social discovery. And games train audiences to earn understanding. That makes the world feel more personal, because you built it in your head. Live action used to be the premium look. But now high-fidelity animation, especially when combined with modern compositing, stylization, and cinematic direction, can do things live-action struggles with. Scale without looking artificial, consistent character design across seasons, physics that feel intentional rather than budget-limited, and worlds that don't have to apologize for being unreal. The classic failure mode of game adaptations is compression, taking 40+ hours of emotional investment and flattening it into 2 hours. The workaround is obvious. Build the emotional investment first, through a long-form series, then launch the big interactive title when the audience is already attached. And here's the thing live-action films can't replicate: real-time feedback at scale. Games generate behavioral signals: which characters players gravitate toward, what choices they make, what lore they chase, and what content they replay or skip. A studio can treat that like audience research, but faster, richer, and continuous. This can create incredible personalization. And it can raise questions about creative risk and data-driven storytelling. But strategically, it's powerful. The modern fan doesn't just want to watch the world. They want to live in it. They want to be a part of it. That's the psychological shift, from spectators to participants, from what happened to what did we do. Now, my prediction for the next decade is simple. The biggest entertainment brands won't feel like film franchises. They'll feel like world platforms, where the console, the screen, and the story become one loop you can't really separate. In that world, the one-off 120-minute theatrical event doesn't disappear. It just stops being the center of gravity. If you want more breakdowns like this, media strategy, narrative ecosystems, and what's coming next, subscribe. And tell me, what franchises do you think best represents the future? An anime, a game universe, or something we haven't seen yet? Let us know in the comments below, and I will be seeing you on the next step of our journey. Take care.